The first scene from the Stranger Things Season 5 trailer is actually a flashback scene showing us what actually happened to Will Byers when he was taken into the Upside Down. And I'm going to tell you exactly what happens before this scene and exactly what will happen after this scene. And the only thing I ask from you is just have a bit of patience and just watch the video till the end. And please, I request you to please go down in the comment section and please start a conversation. With that said, let's start. So this was the first scene that we saw in the Stranger Things Season 5 trailer. Now the first thing that you notice from this scene is the form of Vecna. Vecna in Season 4 looked like this, but then at the end Vecna was burnt alive. Not alive, but Vecna was burned by Nancy, Steve and Robin. After that we didn't see Vecna, and it was guaranteed that Vecna is going to change his form, Vecna is going to change his appearance. Basically Vecna is going to get an upgrade for himself, and that upgrade was shown at the end of the trailer, this. So now the question is, this appearance that we see in the first scene of the trailer, this Vecna is very similar to the Season 4 Vecna. Now that could mean two things. So the first possibility is, so this could be a scene from Season 1, 2, 3, 4 or maybe before Season 1 as well. Now the second possibility is that this is a scene between Season 4 and Season 5. That means we have 18 months gap between Season 4 and Season 5. So this scene could take place between Season 4 and Season 5. But now let me take you back to the first scene that we know that Season 5 is going to have. And it was actually revealed by the Duffer brothers themselves about a couple of years ago, I think, and I in fact made a video on this as well. You can check that video out here. But anyways, the scene was from Season 1 when Will was taken into the Upside Down, and when Will was hiding from the Demogorgon, and when Will was hiding specifically at Castle Byers, and when he was attacked by the Demogorgon. And because of that, Will was later found in the Hawkins library. Now this is going to be really interesting, okay? And one of you guys actually commented on my previous video and pointed out that this looks like the Hawkins library, and sure enough, it does feel like the Hawkins library. Let's come back to the Season 1 timeline. So we know that the Demogorgon attacked Will when he was in the Castle Byers, and then he was later found in the library by Joyce and Hopper at the end of the season. Now let's focus on the final dialogue of Vecna in the Season 5 trailer. He says, "William, you're going to help me one last time." Now this again establishes the fact that Will helped Vecna knowingly, maybe unknowingly, prior to this season as well. And we have known this specifically in Season 2 because he was the spy of the Mind Flayer, and the Mind Flayer was obviously controlled by Vecna. But along with this, just imagine, what if it was Will who created the Upside Down knowingly or unknowingly? And why do I say this? Because we just don't know what happened to Will when he was in the Upside Down. And specifically, I've said this time and again on this channel that we don't have a single scene where we have seen Will talking to someone, talking to maybe his mother or talking to maybe Hopper or talking to maybe any doctor, that what happened with him when he was in the Upside Down. Now that specifically means that he just doesn't remember what happened with him in the Upside Down, or he doesn't want to tell what happened in the Upside Down. So just for the purpose of this theory, let's consider that he didn't remember what happened with him in the Upside Down, and the following that I'm going to tell you is what happened with him in the Upside Down. Now if you take a closer look at the first scene of the trailer, I've actually talked about this in my breakdown video as well, but here it looks like the Demogorgon is bowing in front of Vecna. And you might have seen when there is the arrival of a king, the servants actually pave a way for them, like, you know, they bow out, they bow down, and they tell the king, yeah, here's your way. And this specifically looks like that scene, and someone on Twitter actually pointed this out. Now there is no concrete evidence to this, but a lot of Twitter users have pointed out that this scene, this little piece of bag here, or this little piece of thing, is actually the young Will Byers. Now if that comes out to be true, this is how the entire scene is going to be laid out. So Will was taken into the Upside Down for a specific reason by the Demogorgon, but on the command of Vecna. Now specifically why Will, we don't know that. There's going to be a definitive reason which is no one is going to predict, but anyways, Will was taken into the Upside Down by the Demogorgon by the command of Vecna. Now Will actually was very good at hiding, so therefore he was just hiding everywhere. He was just trying to get away from the Demogorgon, and then Will hid at the Castle Byers at the end, and finally he was caught by the Demogorgon and he was taken into the library where he was found at the end of the season finale in Season 1. And here the Demogorgon took Will Byers, and this is the scene, exactly this is the scene that we're going to see here. The Demogorgon took Will, he just put him in front of Vecna, and he just bowed out and just told the king, the Vecna, the king, to just slay him or do anything to him. So this is where this scene comes in. So basically it was always planned to take Will Byers into the Upside Down. And again I want to bring out this point, why it was Will Byers who was taken into the Upside Down. Why specifically Will? Because he was the chosen one. He was always the chosen one, and therefore he was specifically the one who was chosen to get into the Upside Down for the first time, maybe just to create the Upside Down. But now what happened after this scene? Now we have actually entertained this theory that perhaps Will Byers was actually dead in the Upside Down, and he was only kept alive by Vecna because he wanted someone to spy into the real world. Now the word I specifically use is spy. Why? I'll tell you now. In the Spanish trailer, someone pointed this out on Twitter that in the Spanish trailers of season 5, the last line was actually different. In the English trailer, we see Vecna saying, "William, you're going to help me one last time." But in the Spanish trailer, there is an addition to the line, and Vecna says here, "William, you're going to help me one last time, and you are going to spy for me for one last time." Now, this specifically could mean a reference to the second season where he was a spy, but maybe Will was a spy all along. And I've talked about this theory in detail in this video. You can check that video out later. But basically, maybe Will was chosen specifically because he could be a spy, and in doing so, he died in the Upside Down, and then he was revived by Vecna. He just kept him alive. Vecna just kept Will alive so that he could have a spy, a real spy in the real world. And some other Twitter user also pointed out another extension of this dialogue, and that was Vecna was asking Will to be his vessel again. Now, if this is true, then the thing that Will was a spy all along and Will was dead all along makes the theory more prominent and more likely to be true. Because if Will was the vessel of Vecna all along, Will would have actually died. That's the theory. That's the theory. But now let's entertain the other theory. What if Vecna used Will Byers to create the Upside Down, to create a replica of Hawkins in the Upside Down in a different dimension? Now this could mean a lot of things. So we all know Vecna is seeking a help from Will, but what that help is, now just consider this for a second again. Will was the one who created the Upside Down unknowingly, and now what is the ultimate mission of Vecna? The ultimate mission of Vecna is to just destroy the entire world and just take over the entire world, specifically take over the human race. Now how he is going to do that? He is going to bleed the two worlds together. He is going to take the Upside Down in the right side up, and that is how he is going to conquer. Now how is he going to do that? It will be done by the help of Will, and this could be the help that Vecna is seeking from Will at the end of the trailer. So basically there are two possibilities. Number one, he wants Will to be spy again, and the second possibility, he wants Will to create the replica of the entire world beneath Hawkins in the Upside Down. Now this theory gives birth to a very prominent question. Vecna was in the Upside Down in season 1 when Hopper and Joyce went to search for Will, and they actually found him in the library. He was barely breathing, but he was brought to life again. Now at that time we can all say that the Demogorgon and Vecna were actually there, and why not they just kill Joyce and Hopper? Now the obvious answer is that it was part of a grander plan of Vecna, and he wanted Will to go back into the Upside Down to do his bidding, to be a spy for him. Now obviously there could be another possibility that Will was alive actually. I don't know, but this is my theory about the first scene of Stranger Things season 5's trailer. Now do tell me in the comments what do you think about this theory, and please share this video with each and every Stranger Things fan you know. If you have a fandom, please share this video with them, and most importantly, I want to know your thoughts about this. I want to know what you feel about this. So please comment below your theories, comment below what do you think about this theory, or if you have any other theory, please do let me know, because until the volume 1 comes out, we are going to talk a lot about Stranger Things season 5. So just do that, and yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching.